Today we are going to learn about salt and high blood pressure and hopefully how to control our blood pressure. So what happens when you eat salt is it goes into your stomach and then it moves into the bloodstream. And salt is actually important. We need some salt. It helps us move fluids between our cells through osmosis. But what happens when it enters our bloodstream is then the salt sucks water out of our surrounding cells and into our bloodstream, and that's going to increase the volume of our blood, and that is going to increase our blood pressure. And the problem with blood pressure is it causes tiny little tears on the inside of our blood vessels, and this little tear, let me show you here, leads to a little damaged area, and then that is where cholesterol can stick, and then we get cholesterol buildup, and this can lead to heart disease, stroke, heart attacks, all that bad stuff. So we need to learn to be able to control our blood pressure. We can't eliminate salt completely from our diet though, because we do need salt. Like I said, for osmosis, moving things between your cells, salt basically does all of that. It also helps our muscle fire. So this is a neuron right here. Salt allows the electrical signal to travel, and then it helps contract our muscles. So we do need salt. Without salt, you wouldn't be alive. So you can't be going around eliminating all the salt from your diet. We'll look at that in a little bit. There are quite a few ways we can help decrease our blood pressure. So we have decreasing fat mass. They found weight loss of 5 to 20 pounds for a lot of people is enough to actually keep them off of medication. And we're not going to talk too much about medication here. There's mixed results on that. It does work for some people very well. But losing a little bit of weight, if we have weight to lose, can really help us decrease our blood pressure. So that's all good. Exercise. The more we exercise, if we exercise 30 minutes a day, that is like one of the better blood pressure controls. The reason for this is we get vasoconstriction and vasodilation. So this is your blood vessel here. It can actually constrict and it can dilate. So for instance, when you are cold, one of the reasons why some people's joints hurts, especially people with arthritis, or when they're cold, is there's less blood flow, less warmth going around, right? And then when we exercise, our blood vessels vasodilate. So like you can see here on the right, our blood vessels expand, and this allows more blood flow into all the regions of our body. Super good for us, especially in our capillaries. We will talk about that later. So exercise is really good because it increases the compliance of our blood vessels. And as you get older, especially if you're not exercising, your blood vessels become stiff because you're not exercising your blood vessels, which exercise, again, it's contracting that blood vessel. So you're actually exercising your blood vessel when you're doing any type of exercise, really. We can decrease our alcohol use as well. So 1 drink a day, it's kind of strange, actually decreases blood pressure. So, but for some reason, if you have 3 to 5 drinks a day, that increases blood pressure. And getting down to 1 drink a day or whatever can lower blood pressure. And no drinks a day, that's fine too. It's not going to like not that you have to drink to have low blood pressure. And I don't know, I couldn't find exactly why a couple drinks will increase it when 1 drink will decrease it. I believe it's because your heart rate increases, which then means more pressure for the blood potentially. I couldn't figure it out because alcohol actually causes vasodilation like exercise does. So it actually widens our blood vessels, but for some reason too much of it. And so if you know, leave it in the comments and then I'll read up. I tried to read up and I just couldn't figure out exactly what was happening there. Smoking, if you've ever had tobacco and you maybe noticed a little bit of lightheadedness, this is because smoking actually causes vasoconstriction. So with smoking, people think lung cancer, and yes, it does lead to lung cancer, but it's really hard on your heart because it constricts your blood vessels, which then cause those tears, and then we get plaque buildup, lots of problems. So there's smoking. Sleep, this is probably through stress. So stress increases blood pressure, sleep decreases stress. So there you go, increase your sleep. And then let's jump back to salt. So like 80% of the Americans' salt intake comes from prepackaged foods, like the processed foods, and fast food. So that's really where we want to think about eliminating salt intake because salt tastes good. And so you don't want to eliminate salt from your diet. You still have to enjoy your life, right? And this doesn't mean you have to eliminate all fast food, but let's check out some ramen noodles right here. So what you're going to do for this assignment is you're going to actually look up a food that you eat that is high in salt and just check out the salt content. So this is a container of ramen noodles right here. It's a different brand. It's not ramen brand. But the first thing you need to do when you're looking at a label is look at the serving size. So here, half of the container is 1 serving. And so what that means is nobody ever eats like a half packet of ramen, at least not me. And so we need to double all these numbers then because there's 2 servings per container. And if you're going to eat the whole container, that's going to be 2 servings. So if we made this packet of ramen and we ate the whole thing, down here, and so you can see serving size up top here, and then we go down to sodium. So in one serving of this ramen noodle pack, there's 42% of our daily sodium intake. And what you should eat per day is around 1,500 to 2,500 milligrams of sodium, or maybe 2,300. We don't need to calculate it. It gets too hard, but we just want to start eliminating super high salt foods, or at least reducing them. So with this, 42% of your daily value comes from half this container. So that means if we double this, that'd be 84% of your salt intake in just one packet of ramen. So you can't even enjoy salt the rest of your day. So a little pro tip for you here. What I do when I eat ramen or something like this, like boxed rice that has salt in it or whatever, is I just use half of the salt pack. So that way you can still enjoy what you want to enjoy, and then you just reduce a little bit of that salt. The other aspect of eating too much salt is fast food. So let's check out this. Look up any fast food joint that you want, and you're just going to find the amount of salt in it. So I love McDonald's, so let's check out McDonald's here. And the Egg McMuffin is the best breakfast sandwich. So let's click on this. And we see sodium right here. Sodium is salt, and it is 33% of our daily value. So that's quite high, but it's not the worst. So eating 2 of these, even though if that's what I want to do, may not be the best because I'm going to get tons of salt. But if I just eat 1 for my day, that's not terrible, right? 33%, I just kind of got to watch it a little bit. So look at some ways you can reduce salt in your diet, because you do need salt for that muscle contraction. And I will see you in the next video.